Last time on Trials of Mana.
Elbow me in the face sometimes while you're sleeping.
Don't say that on mic!
You always feel bad. You apologize.
Of course I feel bad. Like, I always wake up and I'm just like...
Episode 28. Threat from Beneath.
Welcome back to some more of Trials of Mana. In the last part, we took down 2 Benevodons. We're going after our third, the Benevodon of Earth. Earth. Wind. Water. Fire. Heart. Go Planet. Captain Planet.
I love it.
He's a hero.
You went straight to Clapton.
Clapton.
Captain Planet.
Layla, you got me on my knees.
And I went straight to, this is the Earth. It's round. Sweet Earth, you might say.
I don't know that one.
Round? You've never seen that video?
Maybe not.
Oh my gosh, that was high school. That was like early YouTube.
Maybe I missed that one.
It's just like a poorly drawn comic of like trying to take over the world.
Oh, okay.
This is the Earth. This round. Sweet Earth, you might say.
Maybe I managed to suppress that one.
The French people are like, fire the missiles! But I'm late tired. Then take a nap. Then fire the missiles! Canada is still like, WTF?
This was in school?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Like while we were in high school. Like that era.
And your teachers would like...
Oh, no, we didn't, like, not in school.
Oh, this was just a thing that was around during school.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, that sounds a bit more familiar then.
Australia is all down there like, WTF, mate.
Because, like, I was thinking, like, one of your teachers would, like, wheel the goddamn TV in.
No.
And play this, and I'm just like...
No.
I will say, I found out why we were talking about politics, because the music that plays during these Benevodon zones is called political pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, so it just kind of like
It just,
pressures you to talk about politics, I guess.
Under pressure. Bum, 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 bum.
There you go. Bum, 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 with the bum, bum. Bum, 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 with the bum, bum, bum.
Ice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Because they have the same melody.
They do.
Look at this.
Yep, always got a little cactus.
I feel like I missed so many little cactuses.
Well, I'm coming up on my 30th. And I think you can still collect little cactus in the post game as well.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost like you should have them by the post game.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can utilize all of the skills.
And the perks that you get
Yeah.
when you collect them. Okay, stay away from that.
Those are noxious gases.
There's a deadly gas in there. Careful. Dragon!
The Kid Dragons. Do you think they'd be a friend with Kid Death? Death the Kid?
There you go. I'm like, who's Kid Death? It depends. Are they staying symmetrical?
They do look fairly symmetrical. He'd probably have little rainbow eyes. Symmetry.
Symmetry! I like that we found out that was the same voice actor as Natsu.
Yes. And then
But I also further
Natsu shows up in
Yes.
My Hero Academia as like
Endeavor's number one fan. And by the way, like, we definitely want to do a philosopher on forgiveness.
Yes.
In Japan.
Forgiveness and redemption.
Japanese animation and Western animation, and touch upon them, and like how Japanese animation like really forces the most unlikable character to develop and have like this moment of forgiveness and like atoning.
Yeah.
For their wrongdoings.
Well, that was the big thing.
Whether they're forgiven or not.
Yeah, for Endeavor is he doesn't want forgiveness, he wants atonement.
Yeah.
But even in general, a lot of the anime that we've been watching, it's redemption. Like they
Yes.
actually do get redemption in the eyes of the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like these characters go from someone that you hate so much, and then you learn a little bit more about them, and they develop a little bit, and you're like, oh, well, they're not so bad. And then
Yeah.
they do something that you're like, oh, I think I might like this character.
Yeah. Whereas, like, that was, like, a huge controversy with Kylo Ren. It was just like, how can you forgive someone? And I'm just like, I don't know, look at all the anime that they've produced. You can do it, you clearly just choose not to.
Yeah. So that's something that I think would be a really, really interesting topic. I would have to do a bit more research, though, on the actual cultural aspects of forgiveness and redemption.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like...
It's clearly a cultural thing.
Yeah,
because like
it definitely stems
to the family
from
and back to
culture
like, just, like,
and
how society views them.
But it's like, dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow.
But it's like one of the
That's China.
Because like anime has a lot of negative tropes. It's one of the more positive tropes that I found that like anime teaches. Is
well,
just
even
about,
the negative tropes are only negative in the U.S. because of cultural differences.
You could argue that, yes.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not like, yeah, I love those tropes. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just shut down that part of my brain for a minute.
Put a shirt on.
Yeah, I get really upset about, like, the apparel and stick figure balloon-chested women. Like, anyway.
Go on.
I just completely derailed my train of thought. I was like, I'm going to shut down that part of my brain. Now powering down.
This is your train of thought.
I mean, that's exactly what happened in my brain. It just all came crashing behind my left eyeball. Wee you, wee you, wee you.
Basically. Better switch up that attitude. I'm a-telling you, lady.
Oh, my God. Are we going to have a problem?
Switch up that attitude.
But yeah, I think a lot of it is just generally a cultural difference.
That was like one of the first insults when the Wii U was released. It's just like, Wii U sounds like its last cries before it's sent to the morgue.
Aww.
The Wii U was trying to do something that technology wouldn't allow yet.
I like the Wii U.
I think the biggest problem was the name. People thought it was a peripheral to the Wii. There was never a clear understanding that it was a new console. People thought it was just an add-on to the Wii. Oh, it's just a tablet? I don't give a shit. And like Nintendo didn't advertise it properly.
Nintendo's
Still
just like,
using
why?
like the Wii
Is
brand.
society so stupid?
So they had to like revamp the idea with better technology, but also the promise of actual portability.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U, I'd go downstairs and it'd be like, hang on, the signal's getting lost. Whereas the Switch, I could go anywhere. I could go to work with a Switch. And like the battery would be like, all right, you can still play games.
Right.
That restriction is what kept the Wii U from going further than it could, going beyond Plus Ultra. Whereas the Switch, and that's another video I want to do, like why the Switch, even though I've been gaming since more or less the beginning, okay, maybe not the beginning, but
almost
like the second generation, why the Switch is one of my favorite consoles. And like for the longest time, I love the PS2, I love the Super Nintendo, I still love those consoles, but I still think the Switch is the best.
Yeah.
And I'd like to really put my thoughts in, do the research, and analyze why. So, on the topic at hand, we have our third Benevodon.
Dun dun dun.
This is the big old golem guy.
I really like this area.
Land Umber, the Benevodon of Earth. This is a very common boss tactic of where it's like one big like face and two hands. You have to dispose of both hands before you can take on the face.
Right. If you hit the face, you're gonna not do any damage.
Exactly, because like when the two hands are active, the shields are up.
Ooh.
Yeah,
what was that?
That's her chariot. I forget if it's called like Fenrir or something.
I didn't have that because I didn't have this class.
Exactly, that's Risa's class skill, and she can summon like basically a chariot of fire.
Nice.
But yeah, the more Nintendo games you play, especially in like the 3D era, you're gonna see a lot of bosses that's just like a head and two hands.
Yeah.
So like you'll be like, hey, that reminds me of those other bosses.
But it's an effective design though.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because it allows multiple targets.
Yeah.
So you don't just have one boss to focus on. You have multiple segments of the boss.
But it also gives you a sequence in which to go. Like, you can't take on the face until the arms are gone.
Correct. So it it lengthens the boss.
Without making it super boring.
Exactly. And it also
So,
gives
like,
you like a
one hand is
different
dead.
strategy. And just like most of the other bosses, the hands will regenerate after a
Yeah.
specific amount of time.
So, like, you gotta get it. Get it.
Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to hoard up like all my special abilities to after I take down both hands. Then I'm gonna let loose on the face itself.
Let loose on that face.
Let loose on that face. No treble. Oop. Here comes the big fist. Peekaboo, here comes my fist. Hammer punch.
Reese is just like, is that coming towards me?
Alright, so now they're both down. He only has one attack, but be careful because
It's a biggie.
I think it's like either petrification or a poison gas. And what I'm trying to do is override his animations with my special attack. So what's happening is I'm tricking the computer to where
He doesn't have a chance to.
exactly my attack overwrites his attack, and it all has to do with timing of the computer to where I technically draw mine out first to override his. Now what's nice is, you know how with Zan B, I had to destroy those 3 statues?
Yeah.
For this super move, all I have to do is destroy that one core, and that lets loose his shield. So, in a way, that's what makes this boss easier than Zanby.
Yeah. But as you can see, like, his fists are back.
Yes, his fists are back, so the battle is going to be longer, and you just gotta watch where those fists are going to be landing. Because he's going to get faster. He's going to get crazy.
Dun, 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 dun.
Rocky, I get it. Ho ho, you're a funny one.
I'm so funny. I didn't even laugh at that joke.
You're doing better. You usually just laugh uncontrollably
At my
as
own
soon
jokes,
as soon
I
as you
say it.
deliver the
Or
punchline,
even
and I just
before I
stare at you and
deliver
I'm
it.
like,
Yep.
I just like mouth agape. Alrighty, you. Honestly, for a second, I thought you were doing like the Elvis theme. Ba-dum bong, ba-dum bong.
Oh, yeah.
That was like synced up quite nicely to her spell. I'll have to remember that in the editing corner. I remember she went da-da when the spell started. There we go. Everything's together.
Hammer!
All right, I'm gonna boost my attack so that I can just pierce through your defenses. Urgh. Now these are the kind of bosses that I'm curious how they operated on the Super Nintendo original.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much going on, but there's a lot of dodging.
Right.
Whereas in the
It
Super
depends
Nintendo,
so much.
in the original, you didn't have a dodge feature.
Right.
You had to boost up your defenses and just take the hits, heal, and like counter. So I'm curious if he was just like one target or if you still had to take on his individual hands.
Well, I wondered that, or if it's like, okay, 2 hits per hand, good to go, now face.
Okay.
So, like, if it wasn't as many hits required.
Okay. Because, like, I know the original relies a lot. See, there's Stone Cloud.
Poison, yeah.
No, it'll petrify you. He has another one called, like, Poison Cloud. That one's not as bad, but Stone Cloud, you want to get out of there.
Get out of there and
All
heal
right.
your potty.
Yeah, I'm doing good, but my partners aren't doing so well.
But it's important in the, like this one, especially now that I'm thinking back on it, to keep your partners healthy, because
Yeah.
if you get petrified and they're not okay, game over.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you don't want to neglect your party members should they die. They're not dead weight. They're actually pretty helpful just
Yeah.
in case you get petrified and then you have to rely on them. Otherwise, you got to do the whole fight over, and we don't want that.
We don't want that.
Another thing that you should keep in mind is every Benevodon you face next is going to have a higher level. So, like, they progressively get harder no matter what order you get in. So, like, it's not like, oh, Land Umber's level 47. If I take on the Benevodon of Wind, it's only, like, 46.
Okay.
It's gonna be higher.
Okay.
So, like, they always progressively
They level up. Regardless of what order you play them in.
And I'm pretty sure, like, those are the levels, like, if they're
Maybe
at a
that's
higher
why I
level,
had such a
they're
hard
gonna be more
time.
aggressive.
Maybe that's why I had such a hard time with that one where just bodies were flying everywhere.
The moon one. Why
Yeah.
did you take him on fairly late?
Yeah. I think I took him on second to last.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ahoy! Damn. He just got pummeled.
And Reese is dead.
Here, have some chocolate.
You want some chocolate?
Chocolate!
I've been trying to find you guys all day. I'd like to buy all your chocolate.
Oh. Look out, look out, look out! See, now he's, like, starting to not only use his hands, but
But his
also
fingers.
cast a spell.
Well, he also uses his fingers. So,
Okay.
like, when he slams his hand down, his fingers come up.
Oh, is that what you think those are?
Well, isn't that what they are?
No, because he's casting a spell called Earthquake. You could see them as his fingers, and that would make sense, but I always just thought he was, like, slamming his fist, but also casting a spell at
Oh.
the same time.
Because it, like,
So he's like,
fits
"I'll
with where,
crush
like,
you."
where he'd be, like, scooping.
That's pretty
Like,
cool.
where his fingers would pop
So,
up.
like, you think he digs into the ground
Yeah.
and comes up to grab the character.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That's what
actually.
I thought, anyway. They looked like fingers.
Yeah. It could be either or. Oh, Stone Cloud. No! No!
Oh!
Woo! That was close. That was almost the match. Charlotte's like,
Well, easy for you to say. I'm a statue.
As you should be, Charlotte.
No respect.
Oh my god, she's petrified and your other two characters are almost dead.
we're going for it.
Don't try this at home, kids.
All right, there, candy.
Candy for Reese.
Candy!
And there we go. The sweet, sweet victory. Yeah. Alrighty, there we go. Another Benevodon down.
But never down.
Every time these things die, I want them to, like, turn dramatic fashion, like in a
Yeah.
Power Rangers episode.
Yeah.
Go, go, Power Rangers! They fall back. Boom! As
I like one of the only Power Rangers. So there are two moments that I like distinctly remember
Okay.
in the Power Rangers movies.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think they're both the Ooze.
Ivan Ooze.
So one is the woman that like, it's been 10,000 years.
Rita Repulsa.
And then when they're like standing in the mountain,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure it's either it's the White Ranger.
Tommy.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
He's like the Native American.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like he like calls an eagle.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are like the two moments I like distinctly remember.
It took me a while to realize what you were getting at. Jeez.
I mean, I haven't seen those movies in at least 2 decades.
What I remember is, like, Ivan Ooze goes after Zordon because he's pissed that he missed out on all the tragedies.
Yeah.
The Black Plague, the Spanish Inquisition, the Brady Bunch reunion. I'm just like...
Aw, the poor Brady Bunch.
A teenager with a big mouth.
Marsha.
Not much has changed in 6,000 years. I remember, the one villain, Lord Zed. He was the guy that, like, had, like, the scepter. And, like, he talked like this.
Okay.
He was toned down because he was too scary for children. Which was a shame because, like, he had some, like, pretty intense opening episodes, from what I recall. But they kept neutering him as the show went on.
Yeah. People need to give kids more credit, man.
I agree.
Like, you let children read it, for God's sake. Like, give them the Power Rangers.
That still weirds me out, though. It's just like kids are like, Pennywise! And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
You
kid,
understand he's a murdering clown, right? That should terrify you.
he feeds on children.
Technically, he feeds on fear.
He feeds on fear, but he mostly goes after children. Like, does he really attack any adults? The adults
don't-
can't really see him. They're
Yeah, I
just kind of
don't
like, eh.
Well, I didn't see part 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I spoiled.
You
spoiled
spoiled.
something. It wasn't Zelda, so I wasn't tight-lipped. I'm so sorry.
All right, please tell me I got a class item for one of my other two characters. I need to hear these words. Do you need to hear these words exactly? He's still alive? Well, he's not as dead as we would have hoped. Kronk. That's going to be a little weird after that eulogy. You think?
I love Kronk.
I love that movie.
I feel like that's a very underrated movie. Like, it was super popular for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, like, I don't know.
Meme culture is, like, trying to, like, defib it.
Yeah.
So, like, it helps a little bit. But, yeah, that movie just did not stand the test of time for most.
Which is sad because it is, like... Oh, sorry. I forgot to silence my phone. It is pretty, like, iconic.
I really liked it. It went through a lot of rewrites before it finally, like, they finally found the comedic tone they wanted. Because
Yeah.
originally it was more serious. It was called, like, The Prince of the Sun or something like that.
Oh, see, I definitely love the comedy. I feel like the comedy is what makes the movie so enjoyable, and it teaches you the lesson without you really knowing that you're being taught a lesson.
Okay. Yes, all right. We can switch our class.
Do it. So
But no, I can agree to
for
that.
Kevy.
But, like, it also broke the fourth wall before it was cool.
Yeah.
Because like,
He like pops up and he's like, you see this sad llama, this sad crying llama? That's me. And he like circles it with a
Yep.
big red marker.
And he puts an X over Pacha. It's just like, just remember, this is the main character, not this guy. Okay, we can move along. All right, I'm choosing the warrior monk. Oh, I can't because I don't have the right item. Divine Fist it is.
Yeah, that I definitely didn't have to worry about that. I picked what I wanted.
Okay. Are you sure you didn't just luck out?
I mean, I may have just lucked out, but I
also know
I
that
wasn't
like
denied.
you get more seeds on an easier difficulty. So you
Yeah.
probably just had so many seeds.
I could have
you
just had
them.
both. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why not both?
But here we go. We switch from monk to divine fist with our new abilities, new skills. All in all, a good time. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bow. All right, so all that's left is for Charlotte to get her class seed. Come on, Charlotte. We already took down 3
Jesus,
Benevodons.
just grow up already. I'm already 34.
I got the speech impediment in case you talk about politics again. Twinkle Rain.
Oh my gosh, I just finished a book called Me Talk Pretty One Day.
Me Talk Pretty One Day.
Me Talk Pretty One Day. It's written by, I believe his name is David Sedaris.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny. Like, when he was growing up, he had a speech impediment.
Okay.
So he had a lisp where he couldn't say his S's.
Aw.
And he was so stubborn about it. And he hated his speech therapy teacher so much
Oh my.
that he had his mother buy him a thesaurus so he could just learn new words to avoid S's.
Okay. Aw.
I was like, that's clever, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is a clever way to avoid an issue. He
Modern problems require modern solutions.
he ended up moving to France as an adult.
Okay.
And like his French was pretty terrible. So, and he had a really difficult time with the gender words.
Okay.
So like understanding which ones were feminine, which ones were masculine, and like he was just like, I don't understand why that is.
Okay.
But in French, whenever you have a plural, the gender doesn't matter. The plural is the same.
Okay.
So he would just buy 2 of everything. So he
Okay.
didn't have to use the gender pronouns. Like he was just so funny. I would definitely recommend if you need a good chuckle, Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris.
A good comedy book, huh?
Yeah. It
All
was
right.
definitely really enjoyable.
All right, we're taking on the Benevodon of Wind next, which is somewhere.
Somewhere up here.
somewhere in the kingdom of Laurent.
I think I saw a little flower. Does that mean little cactus is up there, or that you had a little cactus up
I
there?
think if like the flower is open and is on your map, that means that's where little cactus was.
Okay.
I think.
'Cause I saw one.
Because you have to collect either like 30 or 35 for them to start appearing on your map. Because like it says like
Okay.
treasure boxes, but it doesn't say
Yeah.
like little cactus.
Because I know that is one of the perks, isn't it?
It is, yes. So it'll be like, hey, here's the treasure boxes, and then you collect more, and it's just like, no, physically, these are the treasure boxes.
Right.
And then if you collect even more, it's just like, these are the little cactus.
There's so many.
So yeah, there's always benefits to collecting little cactus.
Yeah. This dog. This kid.
But Dragon Quest XI has something similar to where like you collect these things called mini medals, and you turn them into the professor, and he'll give you stamps, and like every 10 stamps, he'll give you a prize.
Okay.
So like it's very similar.
It's like a coffee card.
But also like, I think I said this before, Dragon Quest XI is made by the same studio, like
Yeah.
Square Enix. So they just kind of like worked there, worked here.
Right. I really miss coffee cards. I don't know anywhere
I don't remember
that does coffee cards anymore. Well, they're like little punch cards. So like you would buy a coffee, they'd punch a card.
So it's like Trader Joe's? I think Trader Joe's. To where like,
I haven't shopped at Trader Joe's in a long time.
is Trader Joe's the sandwich thing, or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking something else. Trader Joe's is a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
It's the brother of Aldi's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, like actually the owners are brothers.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
Because they started in Germany and then they had just different ideas of what they wanted to do and they split. And they were both still called Aldi. One was in northern Germany, one was in southern Germany. And when they branched out to the US, they couldn't agree on anything. So one stayed Aldi and then the other changed their name to Trader
Joe's. Okay.
So, but yeah, they're actual like the
Sam's Subs? There's a very popular sandwich joint that like is escaping my mind right now. And like they give you a punch card, and like after so many sandwiches,
you get a free sandwich
like, a
or
free
like
meal. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was the same. We used to get, like, a lot of coffee places did that. You would, like, every time you bought a coffee, you'd punch your card, and then, like, after so many, you would get a free cup of coffee.
Okay.
I guess it's just too easy to fake it now. People would just get a card and punch it themselves.
That makes sense. Alrighty.
Bad people ruin everything.
It's true, though. One bad apple does spoil the whole bunch. You leave that dog alone.
He needs to leave himself alone.
Well, after this recording, I'm going to take him out, so ha hardy har har har.
Anyone that's newly watching, again, I'm sorry because this is the end of Trials of Mana, so I don't know why you'd start here. But anyway, anyone who's newly watching, I hate the sound of licking, and this dog licks all the time.
Yep.
I love him. I would take a bullet for this dog, but he licks a lot.
He licks a lot, and it's just like, really going to test that love, huh? Yeah. Alrighty then.
Because sometimes he'll just sit there and just, like, he's not even licking anything. He's just smacking his
Sometimes
lips.
you'll be like, no, buddy, I don't have any food for you. And he goes,
I know. It's like, then I'm going to lick.
he's like, oh, really?
But then he'll just, like, walk up and lick the cat.
Yes, he will.
I'm just like, dog, what are you doing? Come here, bud.
And the cat will be like, no, really? What are you doing?
And then she throws herself on the floor.
Check out this move. Byakuya Wave! Kamehameha! And now to go even further than before!
You're going to hurt yourself.
I think I am. Just stop. It's okay. I do it all for overacting.
I wish I had the confidence to overact.
Thank you.
I use my monotoneness.
It didn't come overnight. Took years of being embarrassed until finally I was just like, F it.
See, it took me a long time to realize that I'm very monotone.
Okay.
I never thought that I was monotone, and then I, like, heard myself once, and I was like, oh my god! That's awful.
So that's why my boyfriend tunes me out.
We were doing a sound test, and my mic wasn't on. And like, when we test it, we just kind of like babble. Just like talk about whatever, just so that we can check the volumes and stuff. So you played it back, and both tracks were your mic.
Yes.
And I'm just like, da, 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 just talking, and then you're like, oh shit.
Because like the first time, I could still hear you coming from my microphone, but you were like, it sounded like you were from the other room.
Yeah. And I was like, this is what it sounds like in your head when you're tuning me out. Like, you can still tell I'm talking. But like...
And like, I was reminded of the Bill Burr skit where it's just like... I'm like, oh, fuck, that was a question. What did she ask me?
It's just funny because he doesn't think I know when these things are happening. I know all of his responses. All of the like, oh, yeah. Like...
You got a little booklet full, like, with the tally of
Oh,
all
no,
of them.
it's just
I'm
in my
like,
brain.
Ah, shit.
It's just in... one day I should put them in a little book and publish it and be like, if your boyfriend does any of these, he's not actually listening, and you should say something completely outrageous. It works. It's fun.
I disagree.
You know, sometimes whenever I'm talking and you do a response and I just start laughing maniacally, it's because I've said something absolutely absurd. And you go, oh.
Well, that doesn't happen often because...
And you go, why are you laughing? And I'm like, oh, it's nothing. That's how we get our jollies.
Interesting. He keeps turning around and using his special, and I'm like, well, I'll just keep whacking behind him. I get lucky. Okay, puppers. Once again, we're going to take on the Benevodon in the next part. So we'll see you guys next time with the Benevodon of Wind.
Toodles.